Like, what is the most basic way to describe nutrition response to someone who's like never heard of it?
Okay, so the basic way I explain it to people is I describe it like a cell phone, okay? So when you are doing the muscle testing, what happens is, for example, when you call somebody on your phone, right, it links to a cell phone tower, and that cell phone tower sends out another frequency, and that person receives it on their phone, right? Okay, so when you get like something interfering with that frequency, it drops the call and that information is no longer sent to the other person, right? So same thing happens with muscle testing. Your brain is sending signals to this muscle, and so when I'm telling it, hey, resist me, but if I place something on your body that's going to stress you out and weaken your body, then it shuts the signal off to the muscle and it goes weak. So same thing with the cell phone when it drops the call, right?
How did you find out about nutrition response and why did it interest you?
The way I found out about nutrition response testing was from another chiropractor.
Right.
So he practiced the muscle testing in his practice, and he told me what was stressing my body out, and it like changed my life forever.
Okay.
Like I have so many stomach issues that the hospital never caught and specialists never were able to figure out. And they kept telling me it was just gas. Nothing came up on the blood work. Nothing came up on the MRIs. Nothing came up on the CT scans. And so I didn't know what was going on for a really long time. And I literally was like, I was eating vegetables. Like I couldn't figure out what was irritating me. I did allergy tests. Anyway, and it was just a simple like, oh, parasites are stressing you out. Here's some herb. And then my life completely changed forever. And now my brain feels so much better. I don't have any anxiety, stress, like no more eczema, no more stomach issues. Like freaking changed my life forever. And the mainstream medicine didn't catch any of that. So
how does nutritional response, or really, I guess just holistic medicine in general, differ from modern medicine to you?
Well, with modern medicine and like the way they make it in the labs, it doesn't match our biological chemistry. They alter the chemistry. So when you alter the chemistry of nature, your body is no longer able to properly receive it. So we're rejecting those medications, and it's actually causing more inflammation on the long run. And the thing is, medicine is tricky because it does have components where it actually does help with the pathways and like decreasing inflammation, that kind of thing. But there's also another side of it where it's like your body's not receiving a part of it and it's rejecting it and it's causing more inflammation. So the longer you take it, the more it disrupts your body and the actual biological processes that occur.
Right.
But yeah, that's my problem with medications. It's because the chemistry of it has been altered from nature. So our bodies no longer recognize it. So it causes more problems in the long run than it actually fixes anything.
Yeah. And I've seen that a lot when I worked at the pharmacy. Like people would start with one medication for like diabetes or something. And the next thing you know, they have to get on another one because of that. And then another one because of that other medication. Like it just keeps growing on each. How do those, I know you kind of just said it, but how do those differ from like the over-the-counter vitamins?
You have to be aware of quality. So when you do over-the-counter vitamins, and I'm not saying all of them are bad, but when I'm testing you, your body's letting me know if they're good quality for your body or bad quality. Okay, so that is like literally what makes the muscle test so special. Like, I don't know if whatever's over the counter, it might be good for them, but I don't know unless I muscle test it.
Right.
But I know most, like even with other companies, not even over the counter vitamins and minerals, but even with other companies that claim that they're herbs and different stuff, they might not be good quality herbs. The only reason why I know what's sufficient and works for people is just by their response by the muscle. And it can be any company. So I don't really like push off the idea of over-the-counter stuff sometimes, and a lot of the times it is bad quality. It doesn't even, it makes your urine like Gatorade yellow, so you know it's not absorbing.
Yeah.
Like those are little signs that you're like, this is not a good vitamin. Like, yeah, when I take these, the ones you know, like recommend for me, they don't make my urine that way, and I'm like, Yeah, because your body's actually taking it in and it's staying in. But yeah, so I don't like push off over the counter. Like there's not always, because there might be some that are good quality. It just always depends on the body's response and whoever needs it.
Is just eating healthy or eating just organic enough?
No.
Okay.
It will never be enough, because what happens is our bodies, not our bodies, our environment is bombarded with toxins. We have over 80,000 chemicals registered with EPA. 40,000 of those are currently active, and we don't know what's going on with the rest of them. But so imagine all of those chemicals. Now, like what I was saying earlier about how the altered chemistry from nature,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those chemicals have been altered from nature. So our bodies are absorbing these things, and they're causing issues with our mitochondria, with our cells, right? So a lot of people are not able to produce energy as well anymore. And so you're feeling more fatigued, more brain fog, all of these things. Organic still has chemicals in it. Like, they're like, oh, it's been organic, there's never been pesticides, fertilizers, blah, blah, blah. But, for those fields, they have to be, like, registered as organic for at least 3 years. But if they had any fertilizers or pesticides used prior, that half-life, it takes like over 300 days for even the half-life of that chemical to even dissolve and disappear. So majority of those chemicals are still in the soil still after 3 years. So it's like, yeah, organic might be the healthier option in a sense, but you're still being exposed to chemicals. So you need to get on some kind of supplement that extracts the chemicals from your cells and makes you feel more like yourself again and helps you with that detox. So yeah, I stress that like a lot, especially in my own journey.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I eat organic, I eat fresh.
Yeah.
But there's still something in me that needs a little more help. And that's where Cellcore came into play. And they make biotoxin binders, and they made CT minerals. So all of these things bind to the toxins and the metals. So I feel even better now. Like,
she wants to know how you started training for nutrition testing.
So there's a bunch of like different doctors that actually do seminars.
Oh yeah.
And you can get yourself licensed in it. So there's multiple avenues of classes that you can go down with different companies that teach it. I only know of 3. But I got mine through Yulin. So that's just one of the companies, and they did seminars, and they taught us management, like practice management, and they taught us all that. So, and then I worked with some chiropractors that practiced it, so I got a lot of hands-on training as well, and they taught me a lot. They shifted my mind completely.
So if nutrition muscle testing is used in conjunction with Western medicine,
so it can be used with modern medicine, not typically, like we just like check to see if the medication actually is good for some people.
Right.
So there's some cases where people actually need a medication.
Right.
Their body wants it. So I say, keep taking that medication. And then I say, hey, these other medications aren't working for you though. But this one is.
So have you had to deal with skeptics? And how do you deal with skeptics?
It's actually not. I actually don't deal with them very often. It's pretty rare. But if I do, I explain to them the science behind it. I think I've maybe dealt with 1 or 2.
Were they bad? Were they like super mean about it, or?
No, they weren't.
Okay.
They were like questionable, and then they basically, just this one guy. He was just like really skeptic, and I kept explaining the science and showing him like, hey, this is when your arm goes weak. I keep like showing them how their body responds. I'm like, this is a subconscious response. The same way you breathe without thinking about it. Same way your heart beats without you thinking about it. Like when your muscle goes weak, it's a subconscious response. So you're not like aware of it, but your body's telling me like, hey, this is bothering you. So, I basically just explain it to them. I try to show it. And if most of the time, if they're not ready to heal, they won't do it. Like it just has to take like faith.
Yeah.
And like the ones who don't do it, like if they don't follow the program or do they just like are not ready to receive healing on a deeper level. And so I just let them go. And I'm just like, look, you're not really someone I want to work with. And I just say, hey, it was nice meeting you, but,
What would you say to someone who's on the fence about nutritional response testing?
I'd say the worst thing that you can do is try it out. And if it doesn't, try it out for a month. If it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. You don't have to do any, I'm just like, you don't have to do this. This is just my way of showing you what your body exactly needs.
Yeah.
And if you decide to do it, I hope you do, because it changed my life. It's changed many lives. It made them better. I'm like all chewing. I made them better, but, if you don't want to do this journey, if you don't want to follow it, that's not on me. I don't take things personal. Yeah. It's just if you don't want to heal, that's on you. This is your life, this is your journey. I know what gifts and abilities I've been given to help guide people. If they don't want to follow it, that's not my problem. So, yeah. You got it. I really care a lot, but I also can't care to the point where I take it personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to cap it off.
Because then I'll get discouraged and I want to quit.
Yeah. So. Okay.